Hey gang, want to talk with you a little bit today about how to rig your holster properly so that way it works for you. Now, the thing is, a lot of people will buy various holsters and they'll be quick to be like, this holster doesn't work for me. When in reality, it's not that the holster doesn't work, it's that it's not fitted properly for you. Now, let's be clear. There are holsters and then there are holsters. The $5.99 holster that you buy on Amazon, that's not a holster. I mean, it may holster the firearm, but let's be real. That is not a good quality holster. So let's just talk about that for a minute. So a good quality holster is one that is actually, first of all, it's going to have a cam bar or tiger claw. It's going to have good clips. It's going to be made of a good thickness kydex, and it's going to be fitted for your specific firearm, not a general purpose nylon, okay? So there's that. Then you get into a really good holster, typically by companies like Tier 1 Concealed, Tenacor, T-Rex, etc. And those holsters, right out of the gate, you're really at least at the $100 mark and then beyond. And it's not because, hey, it needs to be $100 or more, but the quality is in there. There's a lot more time spent on the development and the manufacturing of said holster, so that way it works for you. And the clip options are such that you can fit it right for you. So let's talk about how to do that. Okay, so first I'm gonna go ahead and show you, this is the holster that I'm wearing. On this particular firearm, I'm actually wearing a T-Rex holster, okay? On other guns, I will have a Tenacor holster. I'll have a Tier 1 Concealed holster. It really just depends on the firearm plus the light or red dot configuration that I'm running that may dictate the particular brand. Okay, now this holster is rigged properly for me. Now if you take a look, the clips are not parallel to each other, done by design. And let's talk about how to do this. So when you get a holster right out of the gate, and some companies, like one in particular, Tenacor, when they send you the holster in the mail, the clips are not even on them. Now, what I recommend is when you get a holster, whatever company it is, if the clips are on, take them off. And the either tiger claw or cam bar that exists right here, reduce it down to the least amount possible. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that holster bare, if you will, and then you're going to actually put it in your waistband so that way you can test out where it fits. So imagine for just a moment that these clips are off, okay? I put this holster inside the waistband of my pants, and I'll just go ahead and do this for you, okay? I put this holster inside the waistband of my pants, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out where it is comfortable for me, both along my waist at the clock position, the height, and the angle. I'm trying to see where that's comfortable. Once I have that spot, then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to squat, move, and things like that. So I'll actually squat and see if there's any discomfort or anything like that in that position. I wanna be able to squat and move about the cabin. Another thing that I'll do is I'll grab a chair and I'll go ahead and sit in a chair and see if I can sit in that chair, not sitting in it like I'm relaxed like so. I'm not gonna sit in the chair like this. I'm gonna sit in the chair just like I would sit in any chair or if I'm driving or what have you. And I wanna position that holster while seated so that way it is also comfortable. Once I've done all these things, tested the position where it is good for, say, all three, then I have my spot. Now, once I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and take a pencil, okay, and I'm going to draw a pencil line. Assume for a second this is on my waistband. Once it's in here at the top of the waistband of the pants, right here, I'm going to trace a pencil line on the holster. Now, if you look up closely, you can see remnants of that pencil line from when I did that for this, okay? I draw that pencil line, and that tells me where the top of the clips go and at the angle they should be. So now I go ahead and throw my clips on there and I match it up to here, okay? Then I'll go ahead and I'll put this holster back on with the clips and I'll test it again, okay? So now that it's there, okay, I'll go ahead and test it. I'll go ahead and stand up, I'll squat down, I'll sit down, and I'll make sure it's comfortable for me, okay? Once I have that spot, now I'm gonna go ahead and figure out the ride height, okay? So, have my firearm clear. And now I'm gonna go ahead and figure out my ride height for this particular firearm. In most cases, okay, some people will use like 2 knuckles or some variation thereof to go ahead and figure out their ride height. It's really personal. You want to be able to essentially get your hand in there in haste without really having any impediments while you're trying to do that. Now, what I like to do is I actually just like to get a good enough gap, and it actually works out to be about 2 knuckles, but I get a good enough gap that I can really get my fingers in there without having this belt line or what have you get in my way. I'll practice a few holster draws and things like that and make sure that I have ample space. One indicator of too much ride height is if this tiger claw or cam bar doesn't go down below or just below the actual top of the waistband of the pants, okay? So once you have your ride height, you have ample space over here, now you know the ride height and the position of the clips. The last thing you gotta figure out is the amount of cam bar or tiger claw protrusion that will help push this firearm close to your body. This here from T-Rex, they have more of a tiger claw, traditional tiger claw, where you have this kydex that protrudes out. Now, this actually came with another extension that would actually bolt on to here, and it would actually talk to these grooves and give me more flair, if you will. And what that does, it's gonna go ahead and push the holster into me, and what that ultimately does is it pushes the butt end of the grip closer to my body so you don't have that flare and causing unwanted printing. So that right there is going to be tested per your body type. If you have more of what I call the tactical shelf, you're probably looking at a thicker cam bar. You also want to test out with your clothing and the things like that. So once you have that, now you have your holster rigged for position. There's one more part, but wait, there's more, in regards to figuring out your holster. Now, if you notice here, I have on the back side of the holster, I have soft side Velcro that's adhered to the actual holster, and then I have a wedge. Now, the wedge that you see here is made by Tier 1 Concealed. They sell them in packs. You can get an assortment of sizes or specific sizes. This here is a small. And again, the wedges, you will use various wedges depending on, again, how much tactical shelf you have and things like that. Make no mistake, don't care what your body type is. We all need a wedge if you're carrying in the appendix area, because how we're created and designed is our pelvic region curves in, okay? And if you have more of a tactical shelf, you're gonna have more of a curvature, thereby more of a protrusion on the wedge is required, okay? So I like to go ahead and use the Velcro, because what I can do is I can actually take this wedge off, because Tier 1, when they make these, it has a really firm, like red 3M tape that is designed to go straight onto the holster. But once it's on there, it's on there. So if you want to use, say, this particular wedge across various holsters because you're using this gun that day and that gun that day, and you don't want to have to keep buying wedge packs, what you can do is use soft side Velcro on the holster, take the hard side Velcro and put it on the wedge, and then now you can position that wedge where you want it. The nice thing about it is if you position in one spot and it's like not working for you, you're not stuck. Just take it off and figure out where you want it to be, okay? And then there you go. Now once you have the wedge in the position that you want, okay, then you're gonna go ahead and test it out. Lastly, on these wedges, if you take a look here, the wedges, they come pretty symmetrical. If you notice, there's some smushing on this side. There's rounding out of the surface area of this wedge. Obviously, this foam in this wedge has basically contour to my body type, okay? So you're gonna get some flattening out of that wedge. So I recommend that you actually start with a wedge maybe one size more than what you think, because when it smushes down, then it'll smush down into place. So those are a couple things that you may want to consider. So when you're getting a holster, when you get a new holster, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater if it doesn't work right away. Make sure that you are actually fitting it correctly for you. If you think all gun laws are an infringement and you live behind the enemy lines in the People's Republic of California, then check out our Unconvicted Felons t-shirt. We came out with this t-shirt design for you where most of us are fed up with the situation here in California. So check it out. Check out our website. Awesome t-shirt coming at you, and our new line of 2 arms where it stands for 2A Rights Matter. So check out our new t-shirt and help us feed our dog.